It's a nasty game. And I see it played out in the universities too. I think if you quadrupled the salaries of sociologists, that most political correctness would go away. I think they're jealous and envious because they see people who aren't any smarter than them doing way better out there in the capitalist world.
Jordan Peterson, a clinical psychologist and author. He has a net worth of over $8 million. Yes, he's done it with a college degree, but he also understands that the original purpose for the education system in the United States was to produce obedient workers. Now, let's hear the cold truth about college from the mind and mouth of Jordan Peterson.
I was wondering why our school systems are so bad at fostering individual vision.
Yes.
Because it's such a lack. I thought, why? This is such a lack. There's something going on here. Okay. The Prussians established the first public education system. And the reason they did it was because the Prussian emperor wanted to produce obedient soldiers, disciplined, obedient soldiers. Now, that was adopted in the United States in the late 1800s by industrialists. All sorts of rural people were pouring into the cities to start working in factories. Their kids needed to be cared for while they worked, and then their kids were likely to have factory jobs. And so the purpose of the public education system, and this is why there's rows of desks and factory bells and this insistence on timing, was to produce disciplined, obedient workers. Certainly not to produce people who were autonomous. But that being chained to a desk, that's not a bug. That was a feature.
They're overwhelmingly administratively top-heavy. It's been accelerating over the last 20 years. Has been a radical increase in tuition fees, especially compared to the radical decrease in price of most things over the last 20 years. Now, unsuspecting students are given free access to student loans that will cripple them through their 30s and their 40s. And the universities are enticing them to extend their carefree adolescence for a 4-year period at the cost of mortgaging their future earnings in a deal that does not allow for escape through bankruptcy. So it's essentially a form of indentured servitude. There's no excuse whatsoever for that. It means the administrators have learned how to pick the future pockets of their students. And because they also view them in some sense as sacred cash cows and fragile, let's say, because you might wonder why the students are being treated like they're so fragile. It's like, well, we don't want them to drop out now, do we? And we can't, if they drop out, then we don't get our hands on their future earnings in a way that they can't escape from. And that cripples the economy because the students come out overladen with debt that they'll never pay off right at the time when they should be at the peak of their ability to take entrepreneurial risks. So they can't do that because they're too crippled by debt. And so that's absolutely appalling. They're gerrymandering the accreditation processes so that the degree no longer has its credible value. Well, there's a couple of problems with the degrees is that everyone has one. That's the first one. Because scarcity matters, obviously. The second thing is that the match between the degree and the workplace has become less and less self-evident. What should happen when you go to university is you should learn how to think and formulate arguments. You should learn to think, speak, and write. That's what the humanities are for. They're to make you dangerous, right? Because if you can think and speak and write, you're deadly. In a complex job, you're exactly what's necessary. But if you don't have that, it's like, what the hell good is the degree? So, I mean, degree in English literature doesn't prepare you for a job. It could make you think, write, and speak, which prepares you for any complex job, and that's what's supposed to happen. But increasingly, I think that doesn't happen. And the employers are waking up to this very rapidly. So, and they've already known that for most complex positions, they have to train their people. Now they're thinking, well, why do I have to bother with the degree if I'm going to train them, if it isn't bringing anything of value? I think universities are making 7 fatal errors. Top-heavy administration that keeps growing, okay? Increase in the number of part-time, untenured faculty members who have no administrative or academic power, massively increasing. Insane increases in tuition combined with indentured servitude for students, right? You get a student loan, you can't declare bankruptcy. So that means that the burgeoning administration has learned how to pick the pockets of the young people's future earnings. They entice them into university and offer them extended adolescence with no responsibility, and the price they garner from them is to garnish their future earnings. Crooked game, the gerrymandering of the grade system, all of those, they're not good. They're fatal, I think, all of them. And so I think that, I don't know what's going to happen to the university system over the next 20 years, but I'm certainly not optimistic about it.
If you're a high school student and you're wondering if college is for you, one of the things I would recommend is choose as an alternative something equally or more difficult. And I would say to all of you, if you're ever facing a decision in your life, this is kind of a good rule of thumb, because you always have to ask yourself, is this not right for me, or am I just useless and lazy?
You can go to university to not be something instead of going to university to be something. And it's Pleasure Island. And the price you pay for it, especially in the US, is debt. And you're enticed into it because the administrators can pick your pocket. So they rob your future self while allowing you to pretend that you have an identity, right? Very nasty. And you can't declare bankruptcy with your student loans in the US. It's indentured servitude. And it's precisely Pleasure Island. It's exactly that. And so tuition fees have shot way out of control. And part of the reason that universities don't make more demands on their students and let them get away with all the things they let them get away with is because they're basically, why the hell would you chase them out? They're $100,000 or more. So they can do whatever they want as long as you get to sell them to the salt mines.
If you're a high school kid and you don't want to go to college because you don't think it's for you, well, fair enough. Do you have a better plan? And if the answer is no, well, that's not a very good plan, right? It's college or nothing. Well, go to college then, because nothing is a really bad plan.
There's a space now in our culture that is lacking for people to make that transformation from adolescence into adulthood. And so it's the cost of that is forestalled. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.